Well,
here we are.
We're not 2-0, but the sun did come up this morning. The Browns are in first place. Hey, look, I'm just trying to find a silver
They're
lining.
not in first place. Baltimore is.
Oh, you're right.
Browns
2-0.
are in third place.
Yeah. Well, they're tied for third place.
No, they're in third place.
Steelers
win
ended
today. The Steelers would finish second. The Browns would finish third.
Well, I mean, they do have another game with the Steelers.
That is an undeniable fact.
The season won't end today.
I know, but if
that's
it did,
an undeniable fact.
Yes, but so is that they would be third. But it doesn't matter because, Jay, the season is not over.
Not even
Despite
close.
how ugly it was, people overreacted to the win in week 1. They've overreacted to the loss here in week 2. But I will say this. If you're defending Deshaun Watson today, you are flat out embarrassing yourselves, okay? We gave him a 6-game pass for last year.
I didn't.
6 games. Completely ridiculous. Nobody should take 6 games, but I was willing to give him a 6-game pass. Last week, we gave him the weather pass. Last week, he got the weather pass.
He did.
What's the excuse now? Are we going to blame the tackles? Yeah, Jedrick Wills sucks. Jason, who I respect more than any member of the print media, and that is a fact, is completely out of his mind thinking Jed Wills is an average player, and so is anybody else. The guy stinks. He can't play. However, it's bottom line. Deshaun Watson, by far, takes the most blame for this loss. Want to blame the coach a little? Fine. Want to blame that clown Donovan Peoples-Jones who can't catch a punt? Fine. Not only did Deshaun Watson guys play like crap in this game, absolute crap. I don't want to hear any excuses. I made no excuses for Baker. I made no excuses for every other scrub they've had here. I'm not giving up on Watson, but there's no excuses for yesterday. Even worse than his play was that he completely lost his composure. For a quarterback to get called for 2 personal fouls is insane, and he deserved them both. And let me tell you something else. He's lucky he didn't get kicked out of the game. He pushed an official. Are you out of your mind? You're a quarterback, for crying out loud. You've got to maintain your composure at all costs. That's ridiculous. Go ahead, guys.
Tyvis.
See, man, I gotta do it for G because he ain't here today.
Oh.
You know, he be
Play calling.
sick, by the way.
Talking about play
he
calling.
be sitting here like this.
G's got Brown's flu.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I do too.
I don't blame him. No, honestly, I've had time to, just sit with it and get my mind right. And when I look at this game, when I looked at it last night, I thought the positives was that the defense was unbelievable. Unbelievable. The defense is the way that defense plays, if they continue to play like that, that will keep the Browns season alive. They'll keep the Browns able to win games because you're talking about giving up, 13 points as a defense? The Browns could easily score 14. They ended up scoring 22. They should have won that game. The offense, y'all got to figure something out. I mean, yes, Nick Chubb was a big part. And before the season, people sat there and actually asked if we should get rid of Nick Chubb and just go to this air raid. And don't do that. Definitively, the answer is absolutely not. It's not there yet. And yes, the tackles play a huge part of it. DeJuan Jones, I thought, started off. He had a tough big boy job of guarding T.J. Watt, and T.J. Watt is one of the best. He really single-handedly kind of won them that game last night, but.
He did? I thought it was Highsmith that did.
I mean, they both scored. I mean, both of them scored.
The 2 of them. They
but it was Highsmith that caused the fumble. Watt just picked up the loose ball.
Watt made big play after big play after big play.
Yeah, sure. Okay, both of them. The tackles got to play better. The tackles can really hurt this whole season. And the thing is, I'm interested because the Browns, y'all move very, very courageous this offseason. I mean, y'all, if anything was a problem, y'all addressed it. You got rid of the kicker. You got a whole new defensive front in there. You got a new defensive coordinator, a new special teams coordinator. I'm very interested to see, all right, now at what point are you going to say the tackle is the biggest concern to me? Come on now. Y'all really about to jeopardize the rest of y'all season because y'all drafted this guy. He's not getting it done. So either Kevin Stefanski got to come up with a whole new game plan, but it's hard. I'm not going to say it's hard to get a look on Deshaun Watson, but it is difficult for a quarterback to get a drop back and have to move his feet every single time because the guy's in the backfield. So that muddies it up, but Deshaun Watson flat out did not make the plays that he needed to make. I'm with Bull on this one. He's 100% right. We've given him pass after pass. I'm not giving up on him either, but what I'm saying is now that Nick Chubb is gone, that safety blanket is scary. Because that was the one consistent thing that every Browns fan depended on offense. We knew when in doubt, get that ball to Nick Chubb. And I don't care if the line is playing good or playing bad. That man is going to find a way to get a crease and make something happen. And now that you don't have that spark anymore on offense, it's up to number 4 to figure something out. And the way he's been playing is scary because you're right. We gave him the weather excuse. This one, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. You missed some throws. As a leader, you definitely lost your cool a couple of times. You had 2 personal foul face masks. And I get it. And sometimes you throw the stiff arm and you got the tendency to grab. But the first one, you kind of twisted it in a little thing. It was a little extra stuff that you did. So, listen, it's solely on you. The season will ride or die with the way you play.
That's right.
And you don't have your safety blanket, Nick Chubb. Even Amari Cooper was questionable. He had a groin injury just 2 days ago, and he looked phenomenal. He didn't have no excuse in the world, and he had every excuse to not look good, and he still stepped up and performed and made plays. Why can't you do the same thing? You got to figure it out. You and Kevin Stefanski, y'all got together this whole offseason, talked about it's a brand new playbook. It's an explosive offense, and us Browns fans is waiting to see that. So y'all got to figure something out because to me, this loss was as bad as the Jets loss last year. I know it was a whole debacle in the fourth quarter, but this one right here was a winnable game. The game was won, and y'all found a way to give this game away by throwing a pick 6 and by fumbling the ball. At worst, as a quarterback, at worst, you can miss every throw for the whole game, but at worst, take care of the football. You do that, you somehow still win this game. So I put it all solely on the quarterback play and on the offense.
My first comment is close to yours. It's never as good as it looks. So the Cincinnati win clearly they're not as good as that looked. And oftentimes I would say it's never as bad as it looks. In this case, with the addition of the Chubb injury on top of the loss, it might not be as bad as it looks, but it's very close. My fear, Nick Chubb will never carry a football for the Browns again. That is a very real possibility.
I agree.
Without trying to diagnose what his injury is, you saw it. Everybody saw it. It was a knee explosion. He had a similar injury in Georgia. I don't think he tore his ACL in that injury. He tore the MCL, the PCL, and the LCL.
That he feared that he was never going to play again.
By the way,
there are doctors that will tell you after that you won't.
Yeah.
Jay, for whatever it's worth, I forgot to mention this. I saw my physical therapist this morning because I go every Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And again, he's watching the game. He's not actually looking at Nick Chubb, but he says there's no chance he didn't tear at least 2 ligaments minimum.
I would say
minimum 2 ligaments.
I would be surprised if anything is intact.
Yeah.
To me, it looked like a complete knee dislocation.
It looked like Willis McGahee. Right?
It did.
It really
Yeah,
did.
that's exactly what it looked like.
I've talked about on this show how I've torn 3 ACLs, but the first time I tore it, I tore everything. It was a complete knee dislocation. I needed microfracture surgery. I tore the ACL, the MCL, and the PCL.
Dang,
the
Jay.
doctor, my surgeon, actually told me essentially what's keeping the bottom half of my leg on my body was my skin.
Oh, God.
Everything that could be torn in the knee was completely torn.
Really?
I have never felt like the same human being since that point.
But yet,
I've torn the ACL subsequently twice post-surgery after the first injury. My doctor said, I ask all the people that tear everything, what was the sensation? It felt like I put my leg on a railroad track and a train ran over it.
Ooh.
It was obviously the most excruciating pain I'd ever been in until it went numb. And when it went numb, I was actually in shock.
Yeah, sure.
And everybody around me was saying, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine." Yeah.
How did this
Because
happen?
I stopped feeling it anymore. When you stop, and I think Nick went through that. You heard the 2 screams. I said immediately when I heard the first scream, I said, "I know what that scream is. I know exactly what that scream is." I hadn't seen the replay yet. I didn't really know at real speed how bad it was.
You didn't realize it.
No, I did. I seen it.
you
I
did?
seen
I knew it
I
was
seen
bad,
his
but
leg, and I was like,
Yeah, I didn't
I
see
thought
that
I
on
was
the-
like, man, maybe not.
Yeah.
But then when he didn't get up, I said, no, it was what I thought I saw.
Yeah, it's devastating. I want to start this morning by saying the pain that we feel, the pain that the fan base feels. I was gutted. I almost didn't want to watch the rest of the game.
It was
It was
hard.
one of
It
the
was
only times
bad.
the Browns have scored a go-ahead touchdown that I didn't cheer. I was still in shock from watching what I saw. And as much as it hurts us, just imagine what Nick Chubb is going through this morning, knowing that he may never carry a football again. The one thing that he's done his whole life that he loves more than anything else, he may never do that again. So the loss that we're feeling over an L in the column is sometimes we forget the human side of this game. Nick is an incredible human being. For anyone that's ever met him, talked to him, come across his path, you know what he is. He's humble, he's hardworking, he's a champion. And
he's the ultimate team player.
Ultimate. I think Kevin Stefanski has said he's the best team player I've ever seen.
It's unbelievable.
And he never complains. He is the model of what all pro athletes should be.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my biggest fear was that we're going to have to watch this guy put on a gold jacket one day the way we had to watch Joe, in that he never had any team success. He was a great individual player, and despite his greatness, there weren't enough around him to elevate the team to the level that we all wanted him to go to. So that I wanted to get that off my chest first. Nick, we're thinking about you. This is not the end of the world. It might be the end of your Browns career. It might be the end of your football career, but you're a young man with all kinds of gifts, and it's not the end of the world. Things we learned. Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. They have less talent. There isn't an expert that I talked to in the last 24 hours that told me they would take Pittsburgh's talent over our talent. To a man, everybody I talked to, Pittsburgh is the inferior team. What we learned last night is games aren't played on paper. You've got to have playmakers. And what we saw last night out of the Pittsburgh defense was that they just simply wanted it more than the Browns defense. They stepped up and made big plays when they needed it. They scored 2 touchdowns. It's mind-boggling. Pittsburgh did not have the ball deeper than the 31-yard line at any point in the game. Now, they had a run that went through the red zone on the 71-yard touchdown catch, but they never moved the ball past the 31-yard line. They lost 7 yards in the entire fourth quarter, yet came from behind to win. They did that because the Browns' offense is absolutely done.
Abysmal.
I don't see how they pick up the pieces and move forward from here. They were, from the moment, now I know there was a shock factor. We were shocked and awed at home. Imagine what the players that know and love Nick Chubb were feeling in that huddle. So I'll give them a little bit of slack. But what we learned was, when you make a team one-dimensional, half the battle is won.
I don't think we learned that at all. Jerome Ford played great in the second.
Jerome Ford had one terrific run,
and he
which
played
he
great
back.
in the fourth quarter, late in the game.
Outside of the long touchdown run, I believe he had 32 yards.
Yeah, but
I can't say Jerome Ford played great. He had one great run, yes. But I'm not ready to say we're going to be fine in the running back situation because we're not.
Also, Jay, I think it's unfair to say the Steelers' defense wanted it more. That's not fair. The Browns' defense played great. They played just as well, if not better, than the Pittsburgh defense.
So again, there's a difference of opinions, Bull. You have your opinion.
Yeah.
I have my opinion. And what I saw last night from the Steelers' defense, every single time they took a shot at T.J. Watt's face, he had the same expression on his face. He was about to take what you have.
He didn't make the game-winning play. Alex Highsmith made the game-winning play. He got lucky that the ball bounced to him.
What was his box score? Read me his notable stats for T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt had 4 tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for loss, a pass defended, 4 quarterback hits, and a touchdown. Myles Garrett, according to the box score, had 1 tackle and 1 quarterback hit.
Okay, well, I didn't say he played better. He didn't
what
play
I'm
better
saying
than
is,
Garrett.
Bull, there's no way that we could. There's no stat to measure effort. You got to do that with your eyes.
Yeah, I thought the Browns' effort defensively was just as good, if not better than the Steelers.
The effort by the Browns defense was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. What was lacking, though, and this is what wins divisional games, was the big play. They had an interception, which they took over on the 19-yard line. You know what they did on offense? Pass,
well, how
miss field goal.
How would you blame the defense for that?
What I'm saying here is the defense of the Steelers knew, as we did watching at home. I said at the start of the fourth quarter, the only way the Browns lose this game is if the Steelers defense scores, because their offense is not scoring. That was obvious to me. The defense knew, and by the way, to rub insult into injury, this offense that we couldn't wait to see. Everybody was like, wait until you see this. We're going to pull the blanket off of this offense, and everybody in the room is going to lose their breath for 15 seconds. TJ Watt said after the game, we knew exactly what play they were running on the strip sack fumble.
That's just a common
He said,
thing to say.
we knew
That's a
exactly.
common thing to say.
But if you look at the way it was defended,
Common thing to say.
they sure played it like they knew exactly what was coming.
I mean,
to me, I just saw a Steelers defense
Jay,
that's not as good as the Browns defense
Jay,
that just made the big plays and willed their team to victory.
So I don't know that we know whose defense is better yet.
I still take the Browns defense, no question.
Jay,
to me,
listen.
Tyvis, which defense you taking?
Oh, I'm taking the Browns defense
All
right
day,
now.
every
Yeah,
day.
TJ Watt is the only.
TJ Watt is
He's special, and we know that.
The man is an
But-
animal.
I don't think the Steelers defense played any better than the Browns.
I-
They just got.
I don't
They
either.
just got two
I didn't say they
touchdowns.
did.
I
I
would-
said they made the big play.
I would
and
say,
it seemed to me that they had greater desire.
to be honest with you, I would say, and I swear, McNuggets, I'm gonna let you get this read, but I would say that you said that you think that they knew what they were doing.
I didn't say that. TJ Watt.
TJ
did.
Watt said he knew it.
His words were, "We knew exactly what was coming."
If I'm beating their tackles every play,
Yeah.
I don't care what. There's nothing you can do.
No, but I remember when the Buccaneers beat the Eagles, or excuse me, in the Raiders in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It was funny because talking to all of the Tampa Bay defenders after the game, they all said the biggest surprise to us was Bill Callahan didn't change John Gruden's verbiage to the offense. Can you imagine that? Callahan took over for the Raiders after John left Tampa or Oakland and went to Tampa.
Yeah. So when he out
Derek
there
Brooks,
making
Rondé
calls-
Barber, Warren Sapp, they all said the same thing. They said he was at the line, Rich Gannon was at the line calling out their play calls, and they're looking around like, we know what that is. That's our verbiage.
But what I'm saying
And
is,
so they said after the game, when you know what's coming,
Yeah, but
You're
that's not
halfway
the
home.
same thing here.
what I'm saying,
no, it's not the same thing here, but
Yeah.
for TJ Watt to say, without going deeper into specifics, on that play, we knew exactly what was coming.
Oh, on that play.
Like,
It's okay. Yeah.
now look, there's a myriad of plays you can run. I'm guessing that from the formation, from what they saw, that's how they knew. They didn't know before the play was called. You can't. But when they saw everybody line up, TJ said, we've got it. We know what this is and we know how to beat it. And they did it. And to me, and McNuggets, this is my last point. This offense that was billed as wait until you see it is boring.
We still trying to see it.
It's vanilla. I don't know what Kevin Stefanski has over the Cincinnati Bengals. Outside of that, he's 6 games under 500 for his career. There was one.
Hey, we got to see more. It's been one.
Well, I've seen enough of the coach. I've seen enough of that. I mean, I've got 3
It's been
seasons.
a different quarterback every year.
Yeah, but I've seen enough. I've seen enough
To know what?
To
that
know-
we're blaming him for this?
to know that.
How come last week nobody's...
Bull.
You didn't
Wait,
say anything
wait
about
a
it.
minute.
You asked me a question.
All right, let's just go to
Wait,
Mike
I
first.
might
No,
say,
wait.
please,
I want to answer
let
Bull's
me
question.
get
Bull's,
this read.
I've seen enough
Yeah.
to know this. He's not the offensive coordinator for this team. He's just not. He could be the head coach.
That's pointless.